Hey everyone, Blacks here. Welcome back to another video, and I know I did this video way back in February or early March talking about this YouTuber, and he has changed over the months. He has definitely changed over the course of the few months. He has got even worse than I expected, and the guy, as you know by the title, is still a cunt. Like, we're going to be talking about DarksydePhil again. Like, is there anything really to add on? And is there really anything to say about this guy? Because look, I knew this was going to happen. We all knew that it was going to happen. This guy's got even worse on YouTube. I don't even know. A quick backstory for anyone that doesn't know who DarksydePhil is. He used to be one of the most, I'd say, popular Let's Players back in 2007, 2008, even 2009 at a push. And he was just one of those Let's Players, you know, like how most Let's Players are more professional. They don't really talk. They talk you through the game, and they know what they're doing. DarksydePhil just played it raw. He just went in and he just put his own spin on it, and then people like that. People were entertained by that, including me. I used to like him for his Street Fighter videos and his Heavy Rain playthrough. That's what got me onto DarksydePhil. I really enjoyed his content back in the day, but as the years went on, people started to call him out on his bullshit. People started to find out the real Phil, not just DarksydePhil, the real Phil. And the reason that DarksydePhil is dying, it's not because of YouTube. It's not because of the fans. Yeah, YouTube does play a factor into everyone's channel, and it can play a part in people's downfalls on their channel. But most of the time, it's down to you, Phil. It's down to you to sort things out. It's down to you to listen to the people which are telling you these things and how to improve. And it's down to you to take it on and change your channel. But DSP, being the guy that he is, he's like my freaking granddad, stubborn as fuck and refusing to change. His channel is definitely in limbo. That's an understatement. His channel is definitely dying, if not is dead already. I mean, I'm on his channel right now, and we go on to his recent videos. The problem about DSP, one thing, is that he uploads so many videos in one day. I'm talking about 10, 20 videos max, okay? If you're subscribed to this guy, like, your subscribers don't even know when to tune in. They'll be watching one part and then boom, DarksydePhil or DSPGaming has uploaded. And then it's like 10 more videos to watch. I mean, you just won't have time for it. Whereas you see other good Let's Players like Conroy, they upload a part or maybe 2 parts in a day or something. They do it slowly. And it might be long, the episode might be 20 to 30 or even 40 minutes long. But you watch a lot of content. It's better than having it at least 10 minutes and then you have about 100 something parts or whatever parts in a game. That's on average a DarksydePhil video. Another thing, DSP has 185,000 subscribers. That sounds like a lot of subscribers, and it is a lot of subscribers. But the guy is not getting views. He's barely getting 1k views, and you're doing what I'm doing on my channel. I barely get 1k views. At times on a good day I'll get like 1 to 2k views, but on an average day I'd get like 200, 300, 400 views at max, which I'm grateful for. But you know, for a channel like mine that's got 5k, you'd expect a little bit more. And the only reason why DSP is relevant is because of the hate, is because of people like us exposing DSP. Now you might be thinking, Blacks, you're a fucking hypocrite for exposing him, calling him out on his bullshit. By any means, you're helping the guy out, and you are right. You're right. I'm definitely helping the guy out, but this guy is probably the shittiest person on YouTube. Like, I say bad things about Lispy Jimmy, I say bad things about those guys, well, DSP takes the cake. As I'm saying before, DarksydePhil is the worst gamer on this site, and that is not an understatement. I mean that for sure. He is so bad at games. I'm bad at games. I'm pretty bad at games. You see in the background, I don't really do particularly well at games. But at least I know what I'm doing at times. DarksydePhil does not know what he's doing. And the worst thing is, he's so bad at games that there's a whole montage, a whole 2-hour montage, on average at least, every single playthrough he does, called This Is How You Don't Play. And it gets so many views. In fact, it gets a lot more views than DSP does in a month. That's embarrassing, Phil. That's really embarrassing. We're going to be talking about the detractors as well, if you don't know what they are. They're basically like a mob. A really big mob that has a cult following to hate Phil, which I find is pretty sad. I don't feel like it's right to make a channel just directly hating him and basing your whole content of hating DarksydePhil. I think that's pretty sad. But like, what they do is like expose him for what he does. And there's a group called the Sons of Kojima. I've watched them before. Say what you want about them, they're pretty fucking pathetic at the same time, but at the same time as well, they expose DarksydePhil. But another bit of criticism directed to them, they nitpick everything DarksydePhil does. He walks to the fridge, they have to criticize it. He cooks his food in a different way, they have to criticize it. He snorts, they criticize it. I mean, any little thing that DarksydePhil does is being looked down upon. They're criticizing him for saying something, and I know, like, oh, I'm defending DarksydePhil. No, he's a dickhead anyway, but like, do you really have to nitpick Phil for every single thing he does? Is it really necessary? Is it really necessary to make a 2-hour-long podcast talking about DarksydePhil, how he's fucked up? I don't think so. I just think it's a bit silly, to be honest with you. But like, I don't think they're terrible people. I just think it's really unnecessary to keep nitpicking and doing what you're doing, you know what I mean? But that's not the main thing. I did say that his attitude was horrible as well towards his fans. How in Black Mesa is a prime example of DSP failing. Now, as you guys know, Black Mesa is a remake of Half-Life 1. And in one section of the mission at the start of it, you have to crouch jump on the pipe. This is how DarksydePhil does it.
How are people able to jump up here? Look, I can't jump up here. It doesn't make sense. I can't jump up here. I can't fucking jump up. I don't know what to fucking do.
I mean, come on, Phil. It's a simple mechanic. And another thing which I don't like about DSP, whenever he fails and whenever he messes up at a game, he always has to put the blame on the developer.
I did it! What? 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 I did it! I killed him, and then I died, and the game said I died. Well, after the game just cheated me out of victory.
Hey, that's some bullshit!
And there's many YouTubers on this site that suck at games, but they have a good time. It's painful to watch you, Phil, failing at the most basic things. You're worse than my granddad playing games, and my granddad doesn't even touch a games console. He wouldn't touch it. But I guarantee if I give my controller to my granddad, he'll know what to do. He'll do better than DarksydePhil. As you know, in the video which I did in February, which didn't come across as too great, the audio levels weren't very good and my points were all over the place, you would know that DarksydePhil had a girlfriend. I know, it's really surprising, isn't it? DarksydePhil, a man-child like him, he had a girlfriend for 6 years? Man, you must be bullshitting. But no, she left his ass. She actually dumped him. And you know what? Fair play to you, girl. Fair play to you. I'll take my hat off to you. Well done, girl. Good on you. The main thing we're going to be talking about today on this video, and you guys know what I'm going to be talking about on DarksydePhil. It's not just that he sucks at games. It's not that he has a bad attitude. They're all bad things in one league. But this is a whole new level. DarksydePhil uses Patreon, which is nothing new, which is nothing bad. But the thing about DarksydePhil compared to other YouTubers is the way how he uses Patreon. DarksydePhil abuses Patreon. DarksydePhil is a horrible person, a horrible human being on Patreon. The way how he asks people to, basically begging people for money because he can't afford his house. He moved to the other side of the country from Connecticut to Washington State, bought a big ass house which only 2 people, well now 1 person stays in. He's got all that shit, all of them action figures which I did mention before in the previous video, all of that other shit, right, which you don't need. Okay, I get that you want to have your house all fancy and that, and you each to their own with their souvenirs and shit, but I don't agree with it. And then you have the audacity to beg people on Patreon when your fat fucking gouty ass goes to the most expensive hotel, gets the most expensive suite as well, top floor, goes on a staycation in Seattle, Washington, yeah, buys the most expensive meals, buys the latest games, buys the latest consoles, buys another car, and then you beg for money? And you think that your channel is going to keep you afloat? You think that Patreon is going to keep your channel and your house and your life afloat? Like, the thing about DSP, all the evidence is there because he's said it. He's came out and said it. The guy is in debt. His credit is fucking terrible. So how the fuck has this guy still got a house? Tell me that, Phil. Riddle me that. Like, dude, there's nobody to blame but yourself. Let me tell you, reality kicks in and it bites back like a bitch. And reality has fucked you. You're fucked, Phil. The only reason why you're relevant is people like me calling you out for your bullshit. Why do you think many people make channels hating on you? Because you're a prick, Phil. You call out people saying, oh, I'm a real YouTuber and shit. Oh, fuck these haters and shit like that. The only reason why you're saying that is because you're insecure, Phil. You don't care about anything else but yourself. And that's gonna backfire. That's already backfired. Straight in your face. Come on. Like, come on, man. It's hard to sympathize with this guy when he buys the most expensive shit. And he buys all the latest games and the latest consoles and the latest collector's edition or whatever game you want to call. And then he has the audacity to beg on Patreon. How fucking dare that guy do that? How dare he? When there's many other people, and I know many people, and you guys know many other people are in stickier situations like that, and they need all the money that they can get. But this is the reason why people don't trust people on Patreon, because they abuse it. This is a prime example why people hate it. Bearing in mind, this guy is pretty racist as well. I will leave it here. This is what you are, Phil, and you said it yourself.
Give me your money. You've hoarded it for far too long. Why are you carrying your balls next to you? You stupid moron. You big-nosed freak. Aha, Isaac Heimler. That's my name. Fuck you. Aha. And now, turn the ovens on.
You're literally the definition of a money-grabbing Jew. Now, anyone that's Jewish, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to offend you Jewish people or you Jewish viewers, okay? If you're a Jew, that's all good, okay? But, like, this is the stereotype that Phil is. He's literally a money-grabbing Jew. He is stealing money from people. He's stealing a living. And the fact that this guy cannot get a job, the fact that this guy says, oh, if I get a job, it's nothing like YouTube, like, mate, are you thick? You get $1,000 a month and you can barely reach that goal because people are fed up of your shit. Go and get a job, Phil. Go and get a job. You're 35 years old and you're complaining, oh, I can't keep my house afloat. Bitch, you should know how to keep a house afloat. Bitch, you should know how to pay your bills and shit. You should know how to do this. You're 35 years old. You're nearly 40. You're nearly 40, Phil. Guys, when I say this, I'm being serious. This guy is the worst person on YouTube. I don't care what anyone says. I know I said this before with Sanando. I know I said this before with DSPGaming. I know I said this before with Derv. But you know what? They just make shitty content. DSP is a shitty person and he makes shitty content. That's the worst thing to do on YouTube. Stealing money off people. Who the fuck do you think you are? Being on YouTube and doing it for a job is a privilege. Don't abuse it. Because there's many people, including me myself, that would die to be in your position, Phil. And be thankful for every single view that I got. Hell, I'm thankful now that I got all these subscribers watching me and all these viewers watching me. I'm always thankful. Always appreciate my viewers. Thank you for watching. For you that's watching, thank you. Thank you for giving me a view. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's a bit of a long one, but I'm going to wrap the video up right here. Like, Phil, fix your shit up, man. Otherwise, reality is going to come back and bite you in the arse, mate. Fucking fix yourself up. And that's coming from a kid as well. Fucking kids telling you about yourself. Your parents tell you about yourself? But yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up right here. What do you think about Darkside Phil? Tell me in the comment section down below, because this is going to be interesting. Brightside Viking and the fucking gangbang crew that you fucking got, feel free to come and hate on me. I do not give a fuck. In fact, it's advised, come over. Come on in, as Thunder says. Come on. Enjoy yourself. It'll be fun. And if you're watching this as well, Sons of Kojima, enjoy this one. Other than that, My name's been BlaackzTV. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a bit of a long one. Sorry about that. Need to have revenue as well. I'm going to see you guys in the next one.
I'm trying to see some shine.